What if the janitor you overlooked every day turned out to be the one person who could destroy everything you've built? At Pinnacle Consulting Group, Alicia Keys seemed invisible, just another cleaner. But what no one knew was that she held a secret powerful enough to shake the entire company. What happens when the truth finally comes out? Stay tuned to find out. Nestled in the heart of San Francisco, surrounded by towering glass skyscrapers, stood Pinnacle Consulting Group, a prestigious consulting firm renowned for its expertise. Known for helping technology companies scale and boasting high-profile clients and lucrative deals, the company attracted some of the brightest minds in the industry. Yet within this elite institution, lower-ranking employees, such as janitors and administrative staff, were often disregarded, treated as mere cogs in the machine. Alicia Keys was one of those overlooked workers. Clad in the standard navy blue uniform, her hair neatly tied back, and pushing a cleaning cart, she quietly went about her work, invisible to the executives and managers who passed by. But Alicia's story was anything but ordinary. Unbeknownst to her co-workers, Alicia was not just a janitor. She was the founder and majority shareholder of Pinnacle Consulting Group. Years earlier, after establishing the company's success, she had stepped back, leaving the daily operations in the hands of her cousin Luke Keys, who became the CEO. Health issues had forced Alicia into the background, where she observed the company from afar. Now, ready to step back into the picture, she wanted to ensure the firm she had built was staying true to its core values. What she discovered troubled her deeply. It was clear that many of the leaders had lost sight of the principles upon which the company was founded. Alicia knew she had to act but couldn't reveal her true identity just yet. She needed to understand how deeply the problems ran. Each day, Alicia followed a predictable routine, arriving early before the office became busy, mopping floors and emptying trash cans. Her cleaning cart might have been humble, but her sharp eyes observed everything. The stark contrast between the polished, high-rise offices and her unassuming role was striking, yet she remained unnoticed. Her attention often focused on Liam Carter, the current CEO of Pinnacle Consulting Group. Tall, impeccably dressed, and brimming with arrogance, Liam exuded a sense of entitlement with every step he took. To him, anyone beneath his rank was insignificant, whether it was a junior consultant, a receptionist, or a janitor like Alicia. His condescending behavior towards staff was impossible to ignore. Then there was Monica Hayes, the strategy director. She shared Liam's air of superiority, treating support staff as mere obstacles to her success. Her biting remarks about lowly workers were filled with disdain. Alicia often found herself sweeping the hallway outside Monica's office, overhearing comments that revealed the toxic attitudes brewing among the company's leadership. Monica's voice echoed through the hallway as she spoke to Liam, both oblivious to the fact that their conversation wasn't private. "I don't know how much longer we can afford to keep the cleaning staff around," Monica remarked. "They don't even clean the offices properly. It's embarrassing for a company of our caliber." Liam chuckled in agreement. "They're lucky to even have a job. It's not like they're qualified for anything else. We can always replace." Alicia's heart sank. While she had braced herself for this type of disdain, hearing it spoken so blatantly was a harsh wake-up call. The company she had built with hard work and determination was now in the hands of people who disrespected its very foundation. It became painfully clear. If she wanted to restore the values Pinnacle Consulting Group once stood for, it would be up to her. Her silent observations of the office continued, and with each passing day, her frustration grew. It wasn't just Liam Carter's arrogance as CEO that alarmed her, but his overall treatment of the employees, especially those in lower-ranking positions like herself. Liam's condescending attitude had been apparent from the start. He routinely belittled junior consultants and openly blamed them for errors, fostering a hostile and intimidating work environment. He wielded his authority to make others feel insignificant and fired anyone who dared challenge his behavior. But what unsettled Alicia the most was how Liam began to treat her. At first, she thought she might be overreacting, but his actions soon crossed into outright inappropriate behavior. Whenever Liam walked by, whether she was mopping the hallways or tidying the break room, his gaze lingered in a way that made her skin crawl. It wasn't just disdain, there was something darker and far more disturbing in his demeanor. His comments, once dismissive, began to take on a personal and inappropriate tone. One morning, as Alicia was mopping outside his office, Liam strolled past and abruptly stopped. His eyes roamed from her head to her toes, and an arrogant smirk spread across his face. He leaned in closer, pointing to a spot on the floor she had already cleaned. "Hey, Alicia," he said, his voice dripping with condescension. "You know, you could do a better job cleaning, especially when someone as attractive as me is around." Alicia froze, caught off guard by the insinuation in his tone. It wasn't just a critique of her work, it was something far more personal and inappropriate. Summoning her composure, she forced a polite smile. "Of course, Liam. I'll take another look," she replied, her voice steady despite the disgust churning inside. But Liam wasn't finished. He stepped closer, his eyes narrowing with a predatory glint. "You know," he murmured, his voice dropping to a whisper, "someone as pretty as you shouldn't be stuck cleaning. I could help you find a better position. Something more suitable if you're willing to cooperate, of course." Alicia's heart raced with a mix of anger and humiliation. For a moment, she wanted to lash out, but she kept her face calm, refusing to let him see her discomfort. This wasn't just about cleaning floors anymore. Liam was using his authority to manipulate her, trying to exploit the power he held over. "I'm happy with my work, thank you," she said firmly, her voice resolute even as her emotions boiled beneath the surface. Liam smiled, clearly relishing the control he thought he had. As if to assert his dominance further, he patted her shoulder, a gesture that felt less like kindness and more like ownership. Alicia stood frozen, her teeth clenched tightly. She knew she was nearing her limit. Liam's bullying had escalated day by day, and she could only endure so much. His inappropriate comments grew bolder, and the suffocating sense of powerlessness became harder to ignore. One evening, after finishing her shift cleaning the executive floors, she was preparing to leave when Liam intercepted her in the parking lot. The air felt heavy as he blocked her path, standing uncomfortably close. His demeanor had shifted, no longer casual, but predatory. "You've been working really hard lately," Liam said, his tone dripping with false charm. "I think you deserve more than this cleaning job. There's a place for you here, if you're willing to be a little more cooperative." Alicia's heart pounded as the meaning behind his words became clear. His statement was not a compliment, but a thinly veiled threat. He leaned in closer, his breath hot against her neck. "I could make sure you're out of here if you don't play along," he whispered. "You won't find another chance anywhere else with your lack of experience. But if you work with me, I can make things better for you. Don't make this harder than it needs to." Her stomach churned with disgust, but Alicia remained composed. Narrowing her eyes, she locked her gaze on Liam, her voice steady and cold. "If you continue this, you'll regret it," she said firmly, her words sharp and laced with warning. Liam's confident smirk faltered, replaced with confusion and disbelief. "What are you talking about?" he stammered. "You've crossed the line," she interrupted, her voice unwavering. "If you try anything like this again, I'll make sure you never step foot in this building again." His face turned red with anger, but behind his bluster was a flicker of fear. Alicia said no more, turning on her heel and walking toward the elevator. She knew the time for waiting was over. It was time to reveal the truth and take back what was rightfully hers. The next morning, Alicia walked into the office, no longer dressed as a janitor but as the CEO. Her tailored suit and polished demeanor radiated confidence as she strode through the lobby. Employees who had once ignored her now stared in stunned silence, their expressions a mix of awe and confusion. In the boardroom, Liam and Monica were preparing for a meeting when Alicia entered, accompanied by her cousin Luke. At first, they didn't recognize her, but as she moved to the head of the table, their faces went pale. Luke gestured proudly toward her. "This is Alicia Keys, the founder and owner of Pinnacle Consulting Group." A stunned silence filled the room. Liam's expression shifted from confusion to disbelief as he shot to his feet. This has to be a joke," he stammered. "You're the janitor. What's going on here?" Alicia's voice was calm but firm. Yes, I've been working undercover as a cleaner to observe the company firsthand, she said. And what I've seen is deeply troubling. You, Liam, have harassed me, mistreated employees, and abused your position. You failed to uphold the values this company was built on. Liam's face turned crimson with anger, but fear flickered in his eyes. He took a step back, his arrogance quickly replaced by panic. This can't be happening, he muttered. You can't do this, I'm the CEO. Alicia's voice grew colder. Not anymore. Effective immediately, you're fired. Legal action will follow for your misconduct. Liam's usual confidence crumbled as security escorted him out. His pleas of, "You can't do this," fell on deaf ears, and his departure left the room eerily silent. Alicia turned to address the rest of the management team. "For those of you who have acted with integrity, your jobs are safe," she said, her voice commanding. "But for those who have contributed to this toxic culture, there will be consequences." Several board members and managers were dismissed on the spot, their exits marking a turning point for the company. Alicia addressed the remaining staff. Pinnacle Consulting Group will now be a place of respect, innovation, and integrity, the values this company was built on. Together, we will rebuild and thrive. Under Alicia's leadership, the toxic atmosphere was eradicated. Employees who had once overlooked her now admired her with newfound respect. The company began to flourish once. Sitting in her office, Alicia reflected on the journey that had brought her here. The company she had built from the ground up was now in capable hands. Her patience, resilience, and quiet strength had allowed her to reclaim what was hers and restore the integrity of a company that had lost its way. Looking out at the San Francisco skyline, she felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Pinnacle Consulting Group was hers again, stronger, fairer, and ready to thrive. Satisfaction filled her, but she knew the journey ahead would be challenging. There was a company to rebuild, a culture to transform, and trust to regain from its employees. Yet, she felt ready. Alicia understood the road would be long and filled with obstacles. It always was, but for the first time in years, she felt truly in control. No longer would Pinnacle Consulting Group be a place where power was abused, where people were overlooked, and where integrity was an afterthought. Under her leadership, it would become a thriving organization once more, one that valued honesty, respect, and innovation at its core. Her phone buzzed with a message from Luke. "We're in this together. Let's rebuild." She smiled, her resolve unshaken. The storm had passed, and this time the company would flourish not just for the profits, but because it was built on the right value. Karma, she thought with a wry smile. It always finds its way back. Thank you for watching until the end. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you did, please like this video and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell for more inspiring stories.